I don't see any downside of adding this to the list, but I was doing some research as a part of this on data centers, and it's pretty interesting. So the net of my research is that I think, adding it as a permitted use in M1, I think that's fine. I think the location will be key though, because there's a lot of reporting out there about the noise of data centers. And obviously they consume a lot of electricity, they consume a lot of water potentially, depending on how they're cooled. And then the electricity is interesting because then you potentially would need high voltage lines with those very tall high voltage transmission towers through existing properties in order to serve the data center. And I found three articles just by searching data center from the Wall Street Journal this year, and I'm going to read just the titles in order, just to give you kind of a sense of some of the reporting that's going on. The first article is from February, and it says the AI data center boom is a job creation bust, which basically means lots of jobs during construction, but really not many people required to operate it. But maybe that's a positive, because if we compare that to a 24/7 place that has a lot of trucks in and out, that's probably a positive. But it's not necessarily a job creator for the local community. The next article from earlier in September is data centers that don't exist yet are already haunting the grid. It just has to do with utility providers trying to anticipate where these data centers will go and trying to figure out how much capacity they'll need, because especially for AI driven data centers, it's tremendous. The power requirements are just truly tremendous. I mean, on the orders of tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of homes. So that's kind of interesting. The other thing I read was how in the past data centers were located close to population areas because that would actually improve the speed of your internet service. AI data centers are totally different. These large language models, these can be, you're not producing queries. These are just churning data and sort of developing its model, so they can be located more remotely. They don't have to be close to population centers.